Assalamualaikum and good morning, everyone. Welcome to our group project presentation for course STIWK3024 Software Testing and Quality Assurance. Today, we will be presenting our project on the Employee Record Management System (ERMS). This system aims to optimize personal data management, making it more efficient and secure. As a part of our project, we ran a test on the ERMS to ensure its functionality and performance meet the required standards. These tests allowed us to identify and address any issues, improving the overall system quality and reliability. Our project is under the guidance of Prof. Madia Dr. Aslina binti Muhammad, and we are Group 7. We are excited to share our work and demonstration how about ERMS can revolutionize the way businesses manage employee records. We hope you find this presentation informative and insightful. Now, let me introduce the members of our team. We are Group 7 and we are all from the Software Testing and Quality Assurance course. I'm Nurhamida binti Amran, 2866565, and my members Yasmin Maisara Mio Ahmad Nizam, 287037, Nur Zulaika binti Muhammad Nazri, 289578, Muhammad Irfan Hafiz bin Muhammad Azam, 286145. Each member of us has contributed the testing of the employee record management system ERMS, ensuring it function efficiency and meets all the required standards. ERMS, a web-based solution designed to optimize the management of personal data in businesses. This system is aimed at replacing traditional paper-based records with a more efficient digital system, ensuring better organization, faster access, and improved security for employee information. With the increasing reliance on digital solution, ERMS help businesses stay ahead by providing a streamlined and modern approach to handling employee records. ERMS consists of two main modules, the user module and the admin module. The user module allows employee to register, manage their profile, and update their jobs, experience, education, and personal information. Employee can also restore password independently. The admin module gives administrator complete control over employee records, allowing them to update profile, change password, and remove records, and many more. The ERMS system is powered by XAMPP as the local app server and MySQL for the database management. Development and testing are done by using Visual Studio Code, while PHPMyAdmin is utilized for managing the database. To ensure the system functionality, we use Selenium IDE for automated testing. This tool allows us to create and execute test scenarios for both the user and admin modules, ensuring that all the system features work as expected. According to recent research, digitizing employee data management enhance accuracy, improve real-time data updates, and provide user with rapid access to pertinent information. By eliminating paper-based records, ERMS also reduce paperwork, increase operational efficiency, and boost user satisfaction. This is from June 2024.
Hello, my name is Yasmin Maisara and my sheet number is 287037. Next, I will present about the test plan overview. For the purpose of this project is to evaluate the system to ensure it meets functional and non-functional requirements. It verifies essential features like user and admin access, employee record management, and security. Next, key feature to be tested, there's two which are user and admin. For user we will test create account screen, login screen, edit works experience, and education screens. For the admin, we will test login screen and edit employer profile screens. For the testing approach, we did use black box testing, which is equivalence patterning for the methods, and we use Selenium for automated test executions and issue tracking. And for execution, tester will execute cases, log results, and report defects. Next, for the testing details, number one, which is deliverables, there's four, which are test plan, test cases, system test results, and final report. For the test plan, used to define objective, scopes, and strategy. Test cases to know specific scenarios and validation. System test result will summarize finding on system behavior. For the final report is for overall testing summary and system readiness. Next, for the pass-fail criteria, 95% of test cases must pass, no critical defects preventing core functionality, and system must be reliable and user accessible. Thirdly, for the suspension criteria, testing will stop if login or the CRUD, which is create, read, update, delete function fails, and resumption only when issues are resolved. For the environmental needs, for the hardware, it will require Intel Core-based laptop or PCs. For the software, we only limit for Google Chrome, and testing tool we did use Java, JDK, and Selenium WebDriver. Next is metric monitor, which is test case execution rate will be the percentage of complete test cases. Pass or fail rate will be the percentage of successful versus fail cases. Defect density will be the number of defects per module. Time of fixed defects is an average resolution time for issues. For the tools and technique, testing tools was Selenium WebDriver for automation. Techniques is functional testing, automated regression testing, and the environment is Windows PCs with the latest browser, which is Chrome. For the risk and contingency, for the risk, delay testing may impact bug resolutions and deployment. For the contingency, ensure testers are familiar with the system, follow a structured timeline. And lastly, for the approvals, the test manager and product manager must jointly approve the test results, and the deployment proceeds only if all major requirements are met. Next, responsibility. This slide presents the team member and their roles in the testing process along with the specific modules they were responsible for. Each team member is responsible for ensuring the testing process runs smoothly by focusing on specific modules and tasks. The project coordinator oversees testing process. The QA specialist ensures documentation and quality. The lead test designer develops structured case, and the test analysis researcher system functionalities and suggests improvement. For number one, Muhammad Irfan Hafiz play a dual role as project coordinator and tester, overseeing project progress while also testing both the user and admin modules. Nur Hamidah focused on quality assurance and documentation, ensuring detailed test reports and structure documentation for our testing process. And Yasmin Masara, which is me, as the lead test designer, was in charge of planning and designing test cases, primarily for the admin module. For Nur Zulaika will analyze test results and conduct research to improve testing methodology, mainly focused on the user module. Next, we will move to the test case design. So this slide outlines the key fields and validation for the create account process in our system. Firstly, for the first name, this field only accepts alphabetic characters without spaces. For example, Yasmin is valid, but entries like a symbol, alliance, or hashtags, numbers, or names with spaces, such as Yasmin Drew, are invalid. Secondly, last name, similar to the first name, it accepts alphabetic character without spaces. Valid data includes Maisara, while invalid entries include symbols, numbers, or spaces like alliance and hashtags. For the employee codes, this field require an integer value without spaces. A valid example is 09600, while invalid entries like alliance, hashtags, or entries with spaces are not allowed. Thirdly, for the email address, the system expects a proper email formats combining alphanumeric characters and symbol. A valid example is testuser123@gmail.com, and invalid entries include missing alliance or .com like testuser or user123@gmail. In addition, for the password, this field must include a combination letter, number, and at least one special character with a minimum of 8 characters. For example, user alliance 1234 is valid, while user 123 or password without special character is invalid. For the repeat password, this field should exactly match the password entered. For example, if the password is pass alliance 123, so the repeat password must be also pass alliance 123. Any mismatch such as user 123 is considered invalid. The structure validation ensures data integrity and provides a seamless user experience during the account creation. Moving on to the next user experience section, this slide outlines the validation of employee related fields. So let's break it down. So for user employee 1 name, this field requires alphabetic character VASHA, allowing spaces. For instance, Justin Bieber is valid. Invalid examples include names with number such as Justin123 or symbols like Bieber Alliance hashtags. And next, for the user employee 1 designations, this field accepts a combination of letter and spaces. For example, manager HR office is valid. Invalid data includes entries containing symbols such as manager alliance 12. Thirdly, user employer 1 CTC cost to company. This field should be an integer or decimal double representing a valid salary amount with symbols. A valid example is 4,000 decimals 50. Invalid entries includes amounts with symbols. For example, for 45,000 decimal 50. Alphabet characters 45,000 or blanks. Lastly, for the user add employer one work directions, this field should specify the durations in a proper formats like 3 years to months. A valid example is exactly that formats, while invalid entries include duration with symbols, alliance 3 years, hashtags, number without units, or blanks.
Now I will explain the test design for ARMS, focusing on how we test user inputs for different fields such as course, school or college, year or passing, percentage, and course name. For the course field, the input must consist of alphabetic characters only, where only letters and spaces are allowed. For example, a valid input will be Master of Science. Any input containing numbers or symbols such as Master at 246 or Science at 680 would be considered invalid. For the school, college field, the input must consist of alphabetic character with spaces. A valid entry would be College of Science. Any input containing symbol or numbers such as College at 680 or Arts at UUM is not valid. The year of passing field expects 4-digit integer representing the year. For example, 2024 is invalid. Any input that contains symbol alphabets or alphabets such as at 2024 would be invalid. The percentage in PG fields accept numeric values in a decimal format such as 80.5. Any input with alphabetic or symbol such as 81, EIGHD1, O1E is considered invalid. The course name field, similar to the previous one, require alphabetic character with spaces. A valid entry would be a master of field, while entries with number of symbol like master at 1, 2, 3 are not allowed. To summarize the test design, ensure that each user input field in ERMS will follow the correct data format. By validating entries such as course name, school, college names, years, percentage, and course name, we can identify and prevent invalid inputs that could lead to error in the system.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name Nurzuleika binti Muhammad Nazri. My matric number 289578. On this slide, I will reviewing the data field and validation related to the education session. Let's go through them one by one. Year of passing in graduation, this field requires a numeric year format. For example, 2021 is valid, but invalid entries include year before 2000, non-numeric values like 2020, or leaving it blank. Percent in graduation, the percentage should be between 0 and 100. A valid entry like 80% is acceptable, while invalid data includes percentage greater than 100, negative value, or blanks. Then SSC course name, this field accepts alphabetic characters with space. For instance, high school certification is valid, but invalid example are symbol, numeric value like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or blank field. For SSC school or college name, similar to the course name, only alphabetic characters with space are allowed. A valid example is LMN High School. Invalid data include symbol like alias, hashtag, numeric value, or blanks. Then years of passing in SSC, this requires a numeric year format as well. For example, 2017 is valid, while invalid entries include years before 2000, that's like 2017, or blanks. Percent in SSC, the percentage range is 0 to 100. A valid example is 88%, while invalid entries include percentage over 100, negative value like negative 5%, or blanks. HSC course name, this field should only have alphabetic characters and space. A valid entry is science stream, while invalid entries like include symbol, numbers, or blank. This validation ensures that the education data capture is accurate and consistent.
First section of our project, we focus on user input validations for specific fields related to high school or college. The first field is user at school or college SSC, allows users to input the name of their school or college. The data type for this field is bar chart, meaning it accepts alphabetic characters and a combination of letters and space. However, certain restrictions are applied to prevent invalid inputs such as number, special numbers, or blank entries. Example of invalid entries include College Alliance 123, 123456, or leaving the input blank. The second field is user at year of passing HSC. For this, the accepted data type is an integer, requiring only numeric values without spaces. Valid entries include a year like 2001, while invalid entries consist of non-numeric characters such as number signs, dollar signs, percent signs, alphabet, asterisk, or leaving the input blank. Finally, we have the user at percentage in HSC. Here, the input is expected to be either an integer or a decimal with a percentage signs. For example, 85.00% is a valid entry, However, invalid inputs include symbols like the number sign, dollar signs, alphabetic, asterisk, or blank entries. This validation ensures that the data entered by user is consistent, accurate, and suitable for processing in our system. In this section, we focus on the admin's role in editing an employee's profile. The first field is admin edit employee department, where the input is restricted to alphabetic characters (varchar) and allows a combination of letters and spaces only. However, inputs containing numbers, special symbols, or blank entries are invalid. For example, valid entries include information technology, while invalid examples are info tech 123 or blank inputs. Next, we have the admin edit employee designation field. Similar to the previous field, it also uses varchar and permits letters and spaces only. Inputs that include symbols, numbers, or blank entries are invalid. A valid example would be software developer, while invalid entries might look like developer 123 or software alliance developer. The admin edit employee contact number field require numeric values only and use the integer data type. This ensures no spacing or non-numeric characters. A valid entry might look like 134961107, whereas invalid example could include 0182BC897s, numbers mixed with special characters or blank entries. Lastly, the admin employee join date field use a standard date format YYY, MM, and DD. This field require accurate input following the format. For example, 2024-12-17 is valid, while inputs with symbol, alphabetic, or incorrect separators like 2024/12/17 or December-17-2024 are invalid. This validation ensures consistent, error-free data entry for employee profile management, maintaining data integrity.
Next, I will discuss and present about the test cases in IEEE template. Now, let's discuss the manual testing conduct for the create account module. This includes verifying input fields and ensuring proper validations. I highlight three key examples from the slide. First example is user first name field. For the test cases ID TC01, the valid scenario when entering Yasmin, the credential was accepted and the test passed as expected. For the invalid scenario, input like a hashtag and dollar bill or 2789, which is a numeric, or a blank space were incorrectly accepted, leading to a failed test. Second example is the email address field. The test cases ID, which is TC04. The valid scenario, the input, which is test user 123@gmail.com, was correctly accepted and the test passed. For the invalid scenario, missing components like alliance or .com or spacing will lead to errors, but the system incorrectly accepted them, resulting in a failed test. For the third example, we have password field. The test case ID, which is TC05. A valid scenario, which is a strong password such as user alliance 1234, was correctly accepted and the test passed. But for the invalid scenario, weak password like those missing symbols, numbers, or being too short were incorrectly accepted, leading to another failed test. These tests are crucial to improving the system validation mechanism, ensuring the application handles valid and invalid input appropriately.
The test case for the user experience section functionality in the employee record management system ERMS. The focus of this testing is to verify that the user experience section, which involves entering various details about an employee's previous employer, handles valid and invalid data inputs correctly. The first test case, TC07, tests the employee one name field. The valid name input, Justin Bieber, is correctly accepted by the system and the credential can be entered as expected, resulting in a pass. However, when an invalid data is entered, such as Justin123 or Bieber or hashtag, the system mistakenly accepts it, allowing the credential to be entered. The result in a field test case since number and symbol will be rejected in the employee's name field. Next, TC08 checks the employee one designation field. A valid designation, manager, HR officer, is accepted and the credential can be entered as expected. However, when an invalid designation is entered, such as manager alias or manager slash, which contains special character, the system again fails to reject it, allowing the invalid input to be submitted. This leads to the failure for the test case. Next, the test cases for the education section functionality of the employee records management system. The primary aim of this testing is to verify that the users can edit and validate education-related data effectively. The test cases focus on several fields including post-graduation course, school or college, year or passing, percentage and graduation course. The first test case, TC11, checks the functionality of the post-graduation course input field. The valid input Master of Science is successfully accepted as expected. Master of Science is successfully accepted as accepted. Master of Science is successfully accepted as expected, while the invalid input Master at 246 failed the validation, but interestingly, the system still accepts it, marking the test as a failure. Similarly to TC12 checks the input for the post-graduation school college. The system correctly accepts College of Science, but invalid inputs such as Science at 680. It is again mistakenly accepted, which causes the test to fail. Moving on, TC13, the year of passing is tested. The valid year 2024 is accepted by expected, but invalid data input TWO3024 fails validation, yet the system erroneously accepted this as well, leading to another failed test cases. For TC14, we validate the percentage input for post-graduation. A valid percentage, 80.5%, is correctly accepted, while the invalid input, 81, which is the EIGHTYONE, fails validation, but once again the system accepts it, marking the test as failed. The same issue arises in TC15, where the valid input Master of Arts is accepted. Lastly, TC16 tests the graduation school or college input. Similar to the other cases, the valid College of Science is correctly accepted, but in the invalid like pelajar at 789 is once again mistakenly accepted, causing the test to fail. In conclusion, the main issue discovered across all the following test cases in the system inability to properly reject invalid character or data formats. Although the valid inputs were successfully handled, invalid data such as special characters, spaces, or numbers in the field like a course name, school's name, and year should be blocked by the validation logic. Moving forward, the necessary fixes should be made to the system validation mechanism to ensure that only appropriate and invalid data is accepted. After these changes, the test should be re-executed to confirm the functionality and resolve the issue with invalid data handling.
Next, I will present about TC17, TC18, and TC19. So first, let's look at TC17 with valid data. In this case, we enter the year of passing for graduation as 2021, the system behaved as expected, allowing the credential to be entered and the test case passed successfully. Next, for the same test case but with invalid data, such as alias hashtag 2020 in words or a blank field, the expected behavior was to prevent the credential from being entered. However, the system failed to display an error message, resulting in a failed test case. Moving on to TC18 for valid percent data in graduation, we test with 18% and the system correctly accepted the input, passing the test case. However, with invalid data such as 100% or negative 10 with two symbol percentage or a blank field, the system was expected to block the input and display an error message. For the valid data scenario, we test the field by entering high school certification. The system responds as expected, allowing the credential to be entered without any issue, resulting in a successful test case. Then for TC19, we test the field by entering high school certification. The system responds as expected, allowing the credential to be entered without any issue, resulting in a successful test case. On the other hand, when invalid data was entered, such as alias hashtag or 12345 alias or leaving the field blank, the system was expected to block the input and display an error message. However, the system failed to do so and instead allowed the credential to be entered, leading to a failed test case.
Segment, we will discuss test cases TC24 to TC26, which focus on validating the education section of the application. Starting with TC24, the goal was to verify the school or college SSC field. For valid data, the steps involve accessing the application login in as a user, navigating to the My Education sections, and entering the College of Computer as input. The credentials were successfully accepted and the result matched the accepted outcome, passing the test. However, for invalid data, inputs such as College Alliance 1-2 or blank fields were used. As expected, error messages were displayed for most cases, except for some instances where the error message did not display correctly, leading to partial success. Next, TC25 tested the year of passing SSC field. Using valid data such as 2001, the system successfully accepted the credentials and the result was as expected, passing the test. However, for invalid inputs like 2001 in the characters or special characters combinations, the error message display were inconsistent, which led to test failure for certain scenarios. Lastly, TC26 evaluate the percentage in SSC field. When valid data such as 85.00% was entered, the credentials were accepted and passed successfully. On the other hand, for invalid data such as 85% in the character or special characters, error messages were expected. While the error message appeared for some test cases, others failed to display the expected errors, leading to a mix of failed and passed outcomes. In summary, while valid inputs performed as intended across all three test cases, they were inconsistent in handling invalid input. This highlights the need for further refinement of the validation mechanism to ensure robust error handling and better user experience. The test is the admin module. Our primary focus was to validate different test scenarios associated with the module to ensure a robust system functionality. The test cases were designed based on the prerequisite the user should be logged in as admin. The priority was categorized as medium with a test version of 1.0. All the tests were performed manually. A total of multiple test cases were executed, ranging from the checking employee designation field with valid and invalid data to ensuring error messages display correctly in appropriate scenarios. For instance, in test case 28, we verified the functionality of the employee designation field with valid input data. the outcome matched the expected results, marking this test case as a pass. Meanwhile, test cases 29 involved tests with invalid data. Here, the system was expected to display an error message. However, the result did not meet expectation, resulting in a failed test. Similarly, in test case 30, we checked the employee joining date field with valid data. This was another successful scenario where the system behaved as expected. However, in test case 30, when we test the same field with the invalid input, the error message did not appear as required, marking it as another failed test. Out of executed test cases, most scenarios with valid input successfully pass. However, failure were observed in scenarios require error handling. This finding indicates that further optimization and debugging are required in the model's error handling mechanism to meet the set requirements. The table shows that 30 test cases were planned and executed, but none passed, resulting in all 30 failing. Beside the table, a 3D donut chart visually represents this result, emphasizing the complete failure of all executed test cases. This highlights significant issues in the software that require immediate attention.
Now I will present about suggestion for improvement. First, standardization of input type. This to ensure uniformity and reduce ambiguity in test case. It's crucial to standardize the way we define input type. For example, instead of using terms like alphabetic character only, alphabet without spacing, or alphabet with spacing, we can simply use alphabetic character no space or alphabetic character space alone. For example, alphabets only like John, this means no number or special character are allowed. Alphanumeric example John 1 to 3, this includes both letter and number, and only whole number, no decimal or load. Like integer, example 2024, then number with decimal like 85.50. Next, user-friendly formatting. This about making our test case documentation more user-friendly. A clear and readable table structure can help testers understand and execute case efficiently. This like field name, name of the input field being test, data type, specifies the type of data required like string, integer, date. Then validation rules describes the rules applied to the field like must be an email. Valid test case like provide example of valid input. Invalid test case like give example of invalid input. Expected behavior states what the system should do like show an error message or accept the input. Next is input validation and error message. This is one of the most important aspects of testing in ensuring that input validation works correctly and that error messages are clear and helpful. For example, for email, if the input is invalid, we should display an error like email must include alias and domain like .com. For password, if the password is too short or doesn't meet criteria, we show an error like password must include at least 8 characters, number, and a special character. For all invalid input, it's important to specify whether the field is highlighted to indicate an issue. An error message appears clearly on the screen. Next is numeric range and validation. This let's focus on numeric field like year of passing and percentage. This field must stay within logical limit to ensure data integrity. For example, year of passing should only allow values between 1900 and 2099. Any values outside this range like 1899 or 2100 should be flagged as invalid. Percentage should be within the range of 0 to 100 with decimal low. So input like -1% or 101% would be invalid. For conclusion, the Employee Record Management System (ERMS) introduced a milestone change in maintaining the record of employee within an organization. It has maintained data handling with improved accuracy, real-time updating, and increasing user satisfaction. The structure testing strategy adopted in the report justifies the fact that functional and non-functional requirements are made by the system thought the plans on different functional, performance, and security issues are put forward accordingly. The result indicate that among others, account creation, profile management, and administrative controls are all functioning as need. Manual and automated testing have therefore allowed a true testing process whereby identification and resolution and defect can be done well in advance of the deployment stage. In short, the ERMS will not just systematize employee record management but also lay a strong foundation for quality insurance on a continuous basis. Future plans include active involvement of user during testing phase to further enhance the reliability of the system and timely address whatever challenge may arise.